Hi guys, welcome to your channel. This is Victorious Virgo. My name is Vinoth, and this is your tarot channel wherein I post readings, tarot readings for the Divine Collective regarding the spiritual ascension journey that we're going through. And so, in that aspect, I was like still trying to do a little put out different messages out there rather than just checking out what's happening with divine feminine, divine masculine. So, so I'll be posting that whenever I feel like posting it, and so just more of I wanted to do this as a general message that I just want to see how I can intuitively get some intuitively kind of get some messages in general to as a guidance or as some motivational messages that we can take at this point of time, and for what we need to do. It can be not for the divine masculine, divine feminine. I would say for all of you whoever is watching this video, whether you're fully into the ascension path or not. In general, I think I wanted to get some messages. So let me see what I channel through, and I'm just doing some taking some cards, and from there I'm just going to get intuitively, or I'm just going to let Holy Spirit speak through. So let's see how it goes, and I'm not sure what's going to come up. So let us get into the reading. Oh, so hope you all doing good, and and just a quick introduction. I've been telling this in the past few videos that I've been on this ascension path for the past 2.5 years or so, something 2.5 years I think, and so pretty much I'm still going through it, and there's kind of no ending towards it. Right now we keep on ascending, like we keep learning and then contributing back to the society. I mean to our to society basically. So, and that's the reason why I kind of started this, and the other thing is I just had um, previously I was just working for previously sorry I was, so previously I was working in an IT company, and things all was different. I expected my life to be as normal, like right. I was born in India, and then just had I mean pretty good family in terms, but we had all our the regular, like a general thing, like I had parents, and we were all middle class family. So things were all kind of coming from a very limited in terms of like uh, we weren't we were like brought up to sorry, I'm trying to put this through correctly, that we didn't have too much of expectations of I need this, I'll buy this, and things like. We were not greedy, or like not that everybody is greedy if they want that, but then we knew somehow we knew the circumstances in the house, and kind of I was like that, and me and my sister, so we kind of always lived a life thinking, okay, this is how life goes. Life will be kind of like people generally say, this is a fate, and this is your fate to live a life, and I'm just getting emotional. No, Lil, I was at that point of time thinking thinking that okay, life um, I I didn't expect this to. Okay, so I was just thinking as I was growing, I was like kind of didn't even really like this place. Somewhat, I was not getting along with people, but I used to. I felt very shy at a certain age and started like becoming an introvert more than anything, and just like I kind of shut down in a certain point of time. I shut myself down in the sense like I didn't feel I was kind of important in any ways. I just felt like I wasn't. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I just didn't expect it to be this sudden. It was too much suddenly overwhelming. So yeah, I was just talking about like yeah, pretty young age. It was not that the parents ill treated us or anything. It was just um, the kind. I mean, see, we can't blame parents at that point of time because their awareness of they have done their best is what I would say for the because they kind of married into those I mean like 50 years and 60 years ago and all, there was like a huge families to look after. And then because generally parents, when the like mom, like uh, generally our moms generally look after the family and like pretty much, and then have to cater to our needs of all, right? So and then generally dad goes, I mean he's the one who works and gets things done. So it's like it was quite a thing, and that point of time was where I think I just I was the person who was always to be happy, like just I loved. I mean, I like to be with people who are nice, who knows like if I go to my grandma's house or anything, it's like for me, I felt like it was just the love and things. It was my grandparents and were so. I mean, like my mother's side, I'm talking about. Like, uh, I mean, I just felt so much of love in that house actually. So if I was like, if that is what I would compare to, so I just wanted to always be in that place. Where we used to meet cousins, my aunts. I mean, we all come for holidays and things, and then at that point of time, it just feels like totally, um, totally different. Actually, it just feels like, and the the time we get to stay as soon as the holiday starts, we always think, okay, oh, the holiday is going to end. Oh, so many days more. And then as we come together, the more and more, like all of our cousins, like it is not that we all come at the same time. So each one after the holidays, they all come. I mean, after the school gets closed, and then they come and travel from different cities, and then we get, and then actually we'll get about a week or 2 weeks, probably week, when we were to generally have some time together. So and after that it'll be like I mean it is something that when we are young we used to cherish that moments a lot, and it's always like I used to think why we have to always like split like this and all of us have to leave, and because we used to it was a heartbreaking at that point of time to like that was the level of love and affection we had to have between all of us, whether so sometimes it just feels like why not have such kind of things, people meeting each other. And then there was like as we grew, like we kind of start this culture of like starting to feel competitive within each other, and not only within and outside as such. So then your parents are put into pressure, we are put into pressure because of the society, so we have to start performing whether we are doing the right. I mean, this set of things we need to adhere to the society, right? Like if we are supposed to be the family which was the ideal family, right? Like whatever happens inside the house is different, but outside you have to show that we are the best family. Never mind, it is gone. Inside is all just going wrong, and outside you present things like that. So I tend, I felt that at the point of time, that is where something didn't work out for me, I think. So though it happened so that my parents used to have arguments and things like that, and when you're young you just observe some things and then you just don't know what it is all about, but then you know they are not happy and you just take it like something is wrong, right? So after that, what happens is, like, then you've been starting to, you need to start saying that, like, your parents don't want us to tell outside that anybody, my parents are fighting or like that, as kids you go and and we had lots of neighbors. We were like all family members, like 10 houses close to me, and all pretty much knew about each other's house. Like they were all from different religion or anything, and different language, different thing. But then we all kind of, each one knows each one's family, all know each other. So that is how like tightly coupled communities were there. Okay, so that ways I would say always there was, like, if you have one if there's a problem with one house, there's another, you can go and approach another house and call for help, and anybody, they're like brothers and sisters, they can come through. But not that I'm saying everything was fine and great, but then you had the support structure, not only depending on your own family, but then you had people, other people like your family. So there was no difference. For us it was uncle and auntie, for everybody is uncle and auntie, and everybody's other children, right? Their kids and all. We were like just like friends and brothers and sisters. Just like that kind of a community gathering was very nice actually. And then you always have someone in the other to talk to, just spend, rather than just isolating yourself. And where we have come into at this point of time, where we just find ourselves, we were good, I mean, yeah. So I'll touch the point, like, yeah, then we need to start, like, okay, so living in such communities, sometimes you have the pressure of like, outside you need to portray that yeah, our marriage is great, we have a great family. Isn't that what all aspire to say? I've got the best husband or wife, I'm lucky, and then I'm living a very joyful life, and then I want to have kids. These are kids, brilliant, intelligent kids, the gifted ones. And then you have to show that, yeah, they're doing great, and then you want to send them to America or or UK or Australia, wherever you just feel like, okay, oh, we left there, then it means like, yeah, we are great, so we have achieved it. And then next is getting them married, and as soon as marriage, and then kids, and then this. So that, so it just became like I felt like at that point of time, when I was being told, like, sometimes I kind of honestly speak, if someone asks some things, I'll just sometimes just honestly say, yeah, like, they can fight or anything, I'll directly tell, okay, whatever it is, I don't keep things in my mind so much. And then at that point of time only, I think there was like a point of time where I was being told not to, just don't talk, tell this to anybody, don't tell this when you're going there, when you're going. And I kind of felt like, as a kid, you get this, like, when your parents are telling, you're seeing something happening, okay, you always want to be like, honest. We don't think other people will start judging you, because we are not grown up to the point where we know people judge and things, right? We honestly feel like, yeah, we are in our own, like, true selves, right? So at that point of time only, then as this starts, right? Like, don't talk about it. Just make sure that you don't tell this. If they ask anything, don't tell this. So these things, right? Like they start like to and these are kind of manipulation of young kids, right? Like their mind, thought process. This is how you grow to become like when you know seen something which is truth, and you're talking that, and someone doesn't acknowledges that. It just confuses your mind at that point of time, and then so the more the people keep doing it again and again and again, like you then get into the habit of we see something, we don't talk about it. It's like automatically you suppress that because we have to maintain some kind of a thing. Okay, so we have to adhere to some rules or someone's expectations or to make someone happy. Like in this case, for me, okay, if I tell my mom, we will get upset, so I have to keep her happy. So we need not talk about. We always then we what we do is if they ask about anything, so how is it, mom and dad are always good? If they ask me, we have to say, we cannot always say, no, no, they are fighting. You can't say this to my grandmother. So, because from her perspective, if you see that she wants to keep up, make sure that she doesn't disappoint her mother, like my grandmother. So she feels that she wants to portray a narrative that I'm happy in my marriage, and so this is how we have been continuing. I mean, I'm just telling from my own experience, but if you, I mean, it depends on each one's situation. And I see that, see, this is something basic I'm starting with. I'll go to a little detailed thing. I know. I'll just see how I'm feeling, like whatever comes in my mind, I'll just say that because I just wanted to start relaying some messages out there. So yeah, as I was saying, so this happens, and who if it doesn't happens to you, and if you're grown in a family which is like perfect in the sense like you're allowed to speak your whatever truth or anything. I just I'm not talking to you at this point of time. I'm just talking to the others, and I just wanted to and just also if you can listen here and I mean, I want people not to judge anything in this channel or be judgmental towards people. Just let's practice that to accept everyone as such what they are, and so that we can have more people included in this society and not to be. Judgment is the first bad thing that I've learned personally. That he's like this, he's like this. We put them in boxes. We put them in so good, bad. No, 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 fair, ugly, this and that, and so many categories. We just judge them. Oh, he's judgment. We judge them. Once we judge them, that's where we lose. We get into all these problems where it's one of the major things that I really learned as well. So let's not let's try to be non-judgmental. Let's just see where this discussion goes, how it leads. I'm just not sure. So I'm just going to put out there. So as I was saying, this could be like okay. So when you start at that age, okay, you're not going to tell what you've seen or what you feel like. So you start suppressing that thought. Okay, so it's like you're unknowingly developing this thing, saying that you're losing your confidence because you are not able to decide what you want to talk, what you want to say, what you. So it's like a simple decision making of your own voice, what you wanted to say, someone else is now taking control of that, right? So then now what happens to us is like every time we are looking at them, thinking what we have to talk according to what they say, which means they've taken over a control of us in terms of like what we need to say, what like it's like it's basically we given the power to them, and then what happens as we grow, we become under their control, right? Like that is how parents want their kids to be under their control, so that they can make sure that they bring them according to their standards or their way of thinking, what they want to have. So I think till so that typically happened in my so I was just trying to understand how things goes differently for different people. So this is one pattern of things. So as we do that, as what happened, I started shutting down in the sense I found it little difficult to speak to people because I don't know, I was always judging about my own thing, whether is this the right thing to say, or am I talking something wrong? Whether people will like it or not, or whether, because see, this is the confusion comes. So when if I have been, if I was allowed to talk like that, and if I was allowed to talk in front of everybody, that if I honestly say this happened, my parents were fighting and this like this, and maybe people would have started saying, oh, what happened like that, and it will give you an assurance that for your thing they reacted like this, people react like that. So we would learn from a young age that okay, if I say this, looks like people all start like talking, do I need to say this or not? We will be the judge of what we need to speak and things. Yes, I do understand sometimes you need to be careful in what you're saying to, so it's just like it's a learning process, but still you have the decision making, and you don't give that power to anybody else at a very young age. Though we are young, we still need to have that, build that confidence. So many people would have had that confidence, like, so that's where, that is one of the key things which made me feel I was insignificant in any decision making, or in the whole family. Because once I was starting to shut down, like shut down in the sense, like I just felt there's no point in telling, right? Like if I have to talk to someone, I have to tell them like this happened. Okay, I cannot tell. I have to think about how to tell, what to tell, whether to tell or not, all these things. So it's the pressure of telling. So rather avoid that particular topic, right? So this is what we end up doing, and this I feel, because at that point of time I didn't feel it was. I thought, okay, we are making our parents happy, so I didn't feel anything going to impact me later on or whatever. But then, as I kind of grew up in similar condition where every time, so that was one side of one part of the thing. The other one was to of this whole thought of like coming, I mean, belonging to this country, belonging to this race, belonging to this society. So that played a major role for me, because for me, honestly speaking, I didn't like my color. My skin color was something which I kind of couldn't accept till the age of 20-25 years. Okay, so, and it was so much of it was a burden on me actually, and I just felt so that if you people are anyone out there, if you have kind of faced that kind of things, I just can understand completely whatever you're, I mean, what the things that we go through. Because I I specifically don't see anybody telling anything about um, race or anything. But then what happened was, from the time as we born, and like at a certain age, I don't know what age it is, when we watch these movies, right? Like when we watch generally, those time, though in India they were doing, I mean, there was movies in Indian movies also there, but there was more like, see, the English movies was something looked as a, something different, and people from England already had been in our country, and we were under their rule, right? So what has happened? The culturally we were being told that we are kind of not up to their mark or whatever. Like that was the undertone. Like it was just subtly being put out there, I think, and it was kind of making. I didn't know it was already in our blood, that it has gone so much into our psyche that a subconscious mind, I would say, that our parents felt like that. Like for them, if they feel great if someone, white guy or someone, for example, just even if they see and if they talk and things, it's like a big deal for them. Like, so they are noticing us, they're seeing us, talking to us. So it's like, like always putting them above us. So that was one thing. The other thing was, like, wherever in movies or anything you see, only people will be like fair, or skin will be fair color and things like that. So I only, because we never knew at that point of time that we were the ones supposed to be. Suppose we always felt like the representation of colored people within India also. I'm talking about, as far as it's my my personal story. I'm just taking it. So the representation of people that time was also all like you have to put a makeup and it's like already you they say that this is not the color, you have to be like bright. Even now why I use this light is just to okay for the video and all you use, but still I'm saying that that sense of you need to be like color and this color that only looks good is there in your constantly in your thought process. For some reason there is like that background that that process keeps running, that I'm just wondering, like, I mean, I'm trying to stop that. It's like a program subconsciously keeps running, saying, okay, maybe you don't looking good with this color, this side, and things like that, right? So we start becoming more critical about our color, and as we grow up and becoming the individual teenagers and all, no? So we just start to, like at that age, you want to be like attractive or someone like that there are people who are attractive in your school or something. They might be like fair and things, and then suddenly you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not that fair enough to like approach or talk to anybody. And you start feeling all these things, and that again adds to your personal sense of worth. Okay, so you start automatically thinking, because you're not discussing all this, we never had a chance to discuss about this. These issues were never spoken to us yeah, anywhere. I have never seen that much about psychiatrist or psychology talking about all these kind of thought processes and things like that. Generally now only the awareness has come up much. So we kind of had to live with that, and I felt like very bad about myself. I had so much of I was so conscious, because even if when I went to my own like when we get together on holidays, the first day will be like, they'll generally, when they look at us, the first appearance of us, like, oh, you become dark, you become fair. Like they feel that if I am fair, then I'm like it's like something good thing has happened. If you become dark, I've become something bad has happened. I didn't. I mean, they live up to their expectations, and my parents then feel bad, and that started hurting me a lot, because it was unknowingly they did, but then it was affecting me subconsciously. It started making me feel like unworthy, and I didn't like myself for a long, long time. I didn't like to see what to say like the mirror, or be in any camera or anything. And and then sometimes people have made fun when they were watching some videos. We were having these videos, and where they recorded all of us and things like that, and then so, I mean, parents used to made fun comparing me to some kind of a person who's like ugly. Actually, he was like, he made us said he looks like that comedian like kind of thing, which I believe hurt me so much. It was just like he didn't think about it. He was making others happy, but it was not in a way to hurt me. But I heard it in another space from another room, that he just told this particular thing. Even till today, I just remember. And I cried, went and cried. I thought that immediately, I just my entire thing came off. Like I just felt like someone took off my a little bit of worth was there. He just took it off or something. And my father never thought that about me, but it's like 444. I don't know. See, this is the truth I'm talking about. Like it just took away the worth of my own worth, actually. So then because it's not that I did compare to that, but the comedians were very famous and things like that. But then they were like, you sometimes have like, okay, I'm not going to say like, oh, they are not good looking, so they, but then for you at that point of time, what else would you think? You thought like, my father is comparing me to them only, not to anybody else. So when you start thinking like that, just like your self-esteem goes off. And so I just like, then I thought, okay, so that so if you see these two things, then comes the race. Race wise, we were always told like the developing country, a third world country, and already our own country is putting ourselves down. and also we see that our value is always less, or we have to work hard for everything. So it was just like all things were stacked against us, set up in such a way that we were meant to live a life that was supposed to be hard, unless you work so hard, and otherwise you just like kind of live this life like, otherwise you have to get out of the country and work from another country, and always third world country, and it's like generally so already we have put ourselves down so much. So if you think of the amount of so in this circumstances, like I'm not saying always it was like this. People were good. Some people used to say you're like, your smile is very nice, you're good looking, or whatever. Once in a while, but that part of time you don't like to take a compliment, because sometimes you've taken so much of you, you've criticized yourself so much that you lost your sense of self worth, self esteem, and you have this kind of a guilty feeling that if someone says anything, inferiority complex, I would say that if someone compliments you at that point of time, you, oh God, how is it? Because you've heard people generally, yeah, complimenting was very, people never compliment that quickly, at least to me for that point of time. So even when someone does that, then I just suspect that they're making fun of me. Okay, so I will never be able, I'll never accept any compliments that easily. And I was thinking, okay, oh God, why is that person saying? Is he making fun of me? Like, just see that thought always goes to the other side, because we are tuned to start thinking negatively about us. It's like we never knew what is it all about, and then always we were grown up with the religion, or the family custom that we always had to take care of others. Okay, whatever comes, others will be the first. Our parents will always put other people first. The other people means like, when the guests come, when the food is not there, we will be last ones to whether we have food for ourselves. They'll not look, they'll first serve for the guests, make sure that they are happy, and then we go, and whatever left we'll then adjust to whatever it is. So that is how I was born and brought up in things. But it made us happy in a way that, okay, someone has come, they made them happy and went. But then we literally at that point of time, we all were born, even parents or before that, they always thought that love is means like we have to take care of another person and give. That is what we were thinking. I specifically thought love was that, okay, just to start giving it, and someone else will feel do that to us probably, and even we never expected anybody else to do that to us. But then just like that, and I mean, this is how we learned. I learned to live. So I became this guy who was trying to please everyone, because what I thought was like, my parents, then they start like, right, oh, if you do this we will be happy, if you do that we will be happy, that you're my mom's son, or your dad's son or mother's son, and if you do this mom will feel upset, right? Like, start training your mindset wise. You've been trained so much that everything you need to do for their happiness. Okay, so it looks so very odd when we tell, but then think about it. It's isn't it something that you could relate to, that we are now so slowly how the manipulation unknowingly they do. They have no idea that they're manipulating us. We have no idea we're being manipulated, but we think this is how the healthy relationship goes. But how much damage they do as to me at that point of time, because now my worth is gone thing, and the self the decision making capacity is gone. You literally everything is taken out of you. If you see that all these powers are removed from you, and outside world looks like the caring parents or anything, or like they're doing it and to make sure that we are growing out to become like responsible good kids to the society. Yes, yeah, to a certain extent it did. From their perspective, I grew up becoming a very good person or something like that. But then, from my point of view, it was a burden for me to come out like, and like even after that, I out of all this, you think about next being gay, and that too in India, where in that place I had no idea what was gay also at that point. And then see about that. So again, I had to completely suppress that whole thing. I didn't even, and then it was just like an one-sided nightmare to live a life of, like, then you start putting a mask for the outside world. The mask is nothing but you try to show each one what they like, right? This is how all of us live. Like, mostly I never knew what I at this I used to say, okay, I was knowing what to do, and I had emotions and things like that, but I was hurt. Like, in a way, I was completely hurt, but I didn't know it was hurt, or just like living a life which was I always had a fear somewhere. And I never enjoyed my schooling days. I don't know why. Why I used to ask why I was never liked my school days. I never enjoyed playing with anybody. I was all alone, and I was like kind of feeling not bullied or anything, but then more I felt like friends were there and things like that. But then I never used to know which where do I belong. Whether should I? I felt more comfortable talking to girls than talking to guys. I didn't know at that point of time, was it because it was my kind of aversion towards masculine, like towards my dad and things, which like somewhere we didn't have a good relation in a way, because my father was a little more serious than my mother, so I was more inclined to talking to my mother. So like that, so it's like so that point of time. So again, during that entire young and teenage phase, that is your foundation, right? So what happens is, like, I started wearing a mask. I was wearing my mask, and I didn't know it was mask. I was thinking to please everyone. I had to please everyone. I used to, okay, to my mom I'll be like this, to my dad I'll be like this, to my grandmother, grandfather I'll be like this. Then I have friends, I'll be like this. To myself alone, I was not sure what I was. So that's why I used to be confronting all what I was. I don't know. When I go alone, I used to just feel like so bad about myself, because you're not living your true life. Once you're being suppressed in a way, but still you have freedom, but still suppressed. But you don't have a voice to say. You don't know what to say. If you want, also, at that point of time, I didn't have an idea that okay, I can confront my parents. That was the last thing they expected. Oh, how dare you do? I mean, they will be like totally disappointed if I just fight with them or something, like, right? How can you do this? And it was just like they didn't know that how much it was suffocating me as a kid, to grow up with, like, literally all your arms twisted in the but they don't know, they're trying to make you a good boy or something. And it was not that I will be a rebel or something, but then still, I was soft natured and things. By nature I was very soft, and but then still, on top of that, they put so much restrictions, and then the comparison with other kids there. Then you become competition between each other, like, oh, whether they are doing good or you are doing good, and if you don't get marks, this one. So what happens, all everywhere there was competition. So the whole thing was, whenever we kids get together, there will be competition. The parents will get into competition. So if you see how many things goes wrong in a society, what are we looking for? What are we going to do? What is that we are expecting out of this? Is what the question I just thought, always think, what are we thinking? What are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to say we are the first, like as a family, for example? Are we the first one to cross the line? Yes, we finished first. Our kids have reached. Is that something someone told us to do, or where did this come from? If you need to check and things, you need to start looking at what is this race we are running in the life, right? Are we really feeling happy about those things? So this is where I felt like this particular ascension for me was really till like I'm 39, 40, till like before I was working, I used to be like a person, people pleasing person mostly. I was like trying to work and extra work like crazy mad, and I used to think, okay, because I gave up my thing, saying that because it is fate. By fate, I am written to do this. Is what I am supposed to do. So, how much ever you try, God has written your fate already. So this is how it is going to happen, and we only can pray sometimes and see good things can happen or not, and then that's what in one of the songs they were like saying, if you think I didn't understand when I was kid, like if you keep thinking about your fate, no, what is that like, we, oh, if you think about fate and act according to its fate only, then you will become a failure actually. But if you win over your fate, like you can set your own destiny and work according to that. So that is what matters, right? Like you can change your fate by that is what I understood actually later on, that God gives us God. It's not God's will to just set up like this. Okay, yeah, God divine plan is there, but he still has the liberty to for us to decide what we want. But he wants us to enjoy life and comes, right? That is something which I didn't really understand that point of time. And then I was from an Indo religion, and then I was open to all religions. And then, so basically, what I was going to say is, right now, we need to kind of ask ourselves and see that we have to change. Going forward, I feel like this has really impacted many of them. So as part of the ascension, I came across people who have suffered more than what I'm suffering. Okay, they've seen through more horrible things than what I've gone through. Mine is like a lighter version of that, but then there are different levels of this kind of what to say, like it's kind of an kind of what to say, manipulation can be taken as an kind of mental abuse, right? Like that is a very light undertone to that, and then it goes to an extreme cases, right? So this is what the whole thing which we all as a community have to look at and ask and come out of that. This ascension is going to make us come out of all these things that we were doing it wrong. And as parents, if you're watching, just think about these points and see that whether you can what is that we can do. Can we live a life where we need not compare each other? Let the children grow as they want, what they want. Do we really need to live in a culture where we need to be rank one, is first rank holder, is the second rank? Or can we be moving into a society, a community where we say, okay, he's good in art, he's doing his art things, he will be up in that place for that whatever he's expert in. And doesn't mean whether he's earning money or not is a second question, but whether they are happy in their life, what is their child in from the childhood, what they were interested in, whether their growth, don't try and project our idea onto their things. Let them grow as they grow. Let them, can we give them that liberty to, like, okay, be in a way open conversation and things, but then just encourage them to speak up, speak the truth, talk more on what needs to be told, discussed. And because truth is always, sometimes when we don't talk the truth, it's difficult. When we talk the truth, it's liberating actually. Though it might hurt people, it liberates you and makes you just, you can forget once you're speaking the truth. How many ever years later you ask also, the truth will be always truth, right? Like when I was completely wearing mask, I was telling one person another thing, the other person another thing, because I don't know what I told, because I was not coming out as gay till my 32 years. So I know one side I'll tell this one, then I'll forget, oh, did I tell that to this person? And, like that kind of thought process, that's very horrible place to live in. But you can always come out, right? Like you can always just, it's like a phase of your life. But that is when, whether you will completely want to live in that state of mind where you want to deny everything, your reality, and then like even see, there are parents who just are pure evil. So that is a separate category, I want to talk about it, but I'm just touching base on this. So can we have more towards like kids playing more rather than just playing and enjoying learning, rather than putting them in a school, putting them in a line, and then asking them to like how many kids really enjoy in school. You have to check. I'm not sure, at least from my country, I would say many of them will be like, we don't like the school or the environment. And I think we need to give them something different to really live their life for what they are meant to be. And they see, these days kids are more only exposed to the video games or whatever, the tablets and things like that. It's good to know that they learn, but again, the touch with the environment is lost. So it's something unfair that we do, that we need to really give back everything, the respect for the environment, right? Like we need to really have children communicate and have this connection with the environment is something that is also important. And then the third thing is to not to compare a kid with another kid, not to anytime talk about like compare anybody to another person, or make them feel that or if you don't do that, like emotional blackmail, let's not do that, and let them be molded. And the spiritual thing journey helps us to learn, and we have so many tools to help kids from this day onwards to even have intuitively know what they need to do, how they need to do. Kids can themselves decide whom to talk to, which path to take. They can decide once you train them through intuitively to how to. Everybody is gifted. Nobody is left out in the sense. If you groom a kid in that age itself, they themselves, all kids are born with so much thing, right? They are all born like a, what to say, the innocent, sweet kids, and how they're brought in which environment determines most of them. And yeah, of course, genes and things are there, but then if you give them the liberty to be themselves, and like, yeah, okay, someone is a little aggressive and things like that, so it just doesn't comes up all of a sudden, right? Like it just, some factors trigger that kind of thing. So then, but if they are given the ways forward, whatever they are interested in, if he's not interested in if he or she doesn't like studying, they just directly want to go and do some artwork or some kind of a sports or something, let them go in that line and see how it feels. Because end of the day, this I would say, okay, whatever I learned in school, speaking English, it helped me. And maybe others, concept wise, okay, there are 12 years plus 4 years I would rather not have that at all, and just keep a basic study for initial things to groom the basic thing, and then move into areas of your own interest to explore the world and explore many things which are out here. So something that is something which I feel like we can start thinking about and working towards, if something agrees. And then the overall message which I wanted to say is that if someone, if anybody who's watching this video, if you think that if for some reason you've never been true to people or anything, just I feel that mm, just see whether to free yourself, just free yourself by start talking simple things, simple. I've seen many people suffering because of that, because living a lie is just not going to help. Rather not live. It's like that. I'm not saying you to go and go, I'm just saying, why do we need to live a lie? Because at the end of the day, we will realize we lived a lie, and it just, whatever everything else is fake. Everything what we do is fake. When we do things fake, I was also doing, I'm not anything great, I was doing the same thing till 2 years before, and not, I was not my true authentic self. That's where the I got this ascension journey helped me a lot. Each one taught me what I was not doing correctly, and they kind of triggered in all places possible to show me how fake I was at one point of time. Okay, and not that I was always fake, but then I was trying to portray that it was all fine and dandy when everything was horribly going bad, because I was trying to please everyone, and everyone was like using me like a doormat. Okay, so I was like that, and then now I'm in a place where I won't give up anything, and it has helped me to come to this point where I can speak my own words, start my own channel, and cut out all the people whom I didn't want in my life. who didn't serve my, like, in a sense, I don't say that they were there, and I thank them for changing my life a lot. But I wish the same for them, because what I learned, I wanted to impart in them also, to see that in them, not to feel that, yeah, at that point of time when I was doing all this, I used to look at others, oh, others are all great. They don't have all such problems. Yes, I've been thinking like that and all. But later on, I realized that everything was there within me as well. So one thing that the whole spiritual awakening and this ascension journey made me understand that bit. So what I'm saying here is, like, everybody can reach the same thing. It's not that no one is good, one is bad. God creates everybody in such a way that he's like not impartial on anything. Yeah, of course, we go through different situations, come, it's in like part of a soul growth, soul journey. And now it's about time that we all understand that we have a place in this world, and there is something better to do than to live a lie, or live a life where we are pleasing others without living our own life for our own happiness and joy. And one more thing, it is not wrong to be joyful, happy, and loving person, and being on your own. That is not wrong at all. That is not selfishness. That is something you should not. I mean, people should understand. I was having this wrong impression, and then I never. That's where I realized that I never loved myself at that point of time. I never thought like being alone and jolly happy. Yes, that was thing. I felt like, when we need to please another person so that they will like us. So like I thought many people should like us, so then only like we will. That's the worth. I thought it was the worth, but then then it was not at all required. The more we love ourselves, that is the worth. That is the love. The value you give for yourself, automatically all others will start coming into your picture. So this is a simple thing which I'm putting it out there, and if it reaches out to anybody, if you feel good about it or things like that, I just wanted to post some videos like this so that my experience personally and things like that. It's not to just say I was a victim. No, it's just that everything, look at it in a positive side, and let's see if we can help the next generation, or the people who are right now going through some kind of problems like that and things like that. Instead of just neglecting them in the society, can we reach out to people who are there, who are still like, see, for example, we put them in karmics and all, so they're also human beings in a way, if you see, and it's not like they are some kind of creatures of something. They have all been having problems, having self-worth issues and things like that. If these messages like this helps and reaches out to them, there could be a change, there could be something. If they are not going to change, it's a different case, but if there is a willingness to slowly change and things, they can get this feeling that, yeah, someone telling something about us. Yes, I've also gone through that. You can also do some things to change, rather than just making them feeling isolated, more and more unworthy, by calling them like, yes, comics are like this, comics. And I just felt that we ourselves are pushing them into a place where they feel more unworthy, and the more things that they do is more. Once you feel unworthy, you go into doing things which makes you feel like, okay, well, what am I going to lose? I want the other person to lose because they have already called me unworthy and things. And that's where this whole thing has come about. Like, we feel like the others are doing against us this. Maybe all of us have some roles, some things to do together. Is something that, is it too much to ask for, or too much to think about? I don't know. But then for me, I always feel there is always something bigger that we can achieve together, rather than just bringing down another person or being so-called divine. We are divine in a sense, not like we sit in the throne and act like God. Even if we have that capacity as a leader or anything for that matter, even if you're God, you are supposed to go down and help people who are kind of having problems, right? Not to sit and say, yes, I'm God, all pray, look and praise at me. No, you have to see what the problems people have and resolve those kind of things. That's your role, right? So yeah, I'm just saying, even if you are divine masculine, divine feminine, we are supposed to do some things like this. So think about it and see. And I'm just I never expected it to be like just my personal case study, but then isn't it something that we can think about having a life where we can all be looking after each other, helping people who have these problems or having some kind of issues, mental health issues, personal health issues, to openly come forward and talk about it rather than be judging and dividing, creating division among ourselves or making us one feel better than the other and putting down the others. And such things can be like rather dividing people rather than looking at more of how to bring them together. And see, as we give them more and more sense of worth and make them feel good, I feel anybody would change unless they are so much if they don't want to change anything, you're not going to force anybody. But then there might be people who are misled or feeling that sense of like see, all these issues are there, but then as God and God is whatever you're reaching, do you have the powers to change their fate? I'm asking if you think yourself to be divine, so can we not change people? What do you think about what Jesus told? Anything, miracles can happen, right? Why not change people, help them, even if they are in the even if they would be doing the worst ever things in their life, can we bring them out of that? Isn't something that we can look into or something? I'm just asking a question and seeing, think about it and see how it feels. Even if they're doing something bad because they are misguided or they have hurt in childhood, well, let's see how they would behave when you're showing them love and respect and all things. Not to say that we have to cater to their needs, but to include them as part of whatever we are doing and how it feels to them to be included, to be with each other, and to be not to be looked down upon what they have done, kind of a thing. So, is there something that we could do? And yeah, so something that I've always been thinking about. So just think about it and yeah, that is the key message I wanted to. Anyways, this is what it came through. So I hope you guys see this is what. So see exactly. There's a peak. Okay, maintain self-worth and self-esteem. Archangel Mary, Gabriel, and Uriel. See the message of how it comes. So these I just kind of try to get some acknowledgement and how it works. So that's where. So it's always season. This is what the key things is: self-worth, self-esteem. Once we reach that, we shouldn't have the like a pride. Yeah, see, I'm the great. No, we should be more humble and to see. We know no. See, I've gone through this. I understand the people's at least few people who have gone through similar things like me, how they behave, how they react, and they only want someone to be confidently like they want someone to talk to and make them feel good about, like give them a way forward, because all their things have been taken away, their powers to decide, their power to think, the power to me make themselves self-worth, worthy or feel loved. It's all been taken away from them. It's something that we need to see how what all ways we can do and yeah, reinvent ways or find out ways to just reach out to them, just kind of not to forcefully yes you come. It's just to starting to reaching out to people so that they make very good friends or anything within a community, include them in many things rather than just putting them out. And one more thing is to see how we can be more authentic about selves everywhere, wherever we go. This is me. Whether I'm behind the scenes, in front of the things, I'm like this. This is me. This is me. Is it something because when I portray myself to be a different person in front of camera, others will look at me and saying, "Oh, he's going to be like this only." I would rather be more natural self, so that when people look at me in personal, I mean, in person also, they know that okay, he's going to be the same. It's not like I'm just putting up another mask in front of the camera and then trying to act as if like, oh, just for the video sake, I did this. It's just the way I can communicate easily with, because I'm still not comfortable talking to in a public place or anything. But then I more comfortable now, become comfortable talking over a screen. I mean, over video, posting my videos and things like that. So that's where this is just based on my comfort. I'm able to speak so much. But then in front of an audience, I'll stammer or anything. Or maybe that was my case previously. I used to be very nervous in front of audience and things like that. So this is me. So as I develop, as I get more courage, confidence to meet people and talk to people, I will be definitely doing that. But then this is how I can express my things, and I'm not here trying to be like, yes, let's do this video so that people will be impressed with me. No, it's just that a part of my thing, I understand, and what people have, I've gone through that, like so much of, and being an empath, I feel a lot about others also, right? So why not make use of it and just put these videos? It can reach out and touch one person somewhere or something, and give them the courage that nobody need to judge anybody, but any minute they can always turn around things and become a better version of themselves every single day. Past is past. That's what it's very important to know, that past is past and now is something that always there is. There's time. I mean, you can change always at this very moment. You can start thinking about how authentic I can live my life, just step by step. How well I can love myself. How think about it, and it's not that if you want to come to terms with your past, speak slowly or open up to people whom you think you can reach out to and process that old baggage, and things move away. Don't carry that baggage as long. It's going to impact in certain ways. So rather than just start to open and release all those old baggages and become the new authentic yourself, whom you think you are. We will always think, who am I? We will be, even till now I was questioning that only. We are searching that answer for that. But then you can just live what you feel like, you react like that. Yes, this is how. Whether you're dumb or not, it doesn't matter. Don't think how another person will judge me. Just say, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, oh, is it? Many things we won't know, or I'll be like acting like that. Yeah, yes, I know, or I don't know. But then doesn't mean that, oh, I have to act as if and I'm very intelligent, or I should know all about everything. No, right? Like, it's just, it takes time. But then being true and honest that point of time to act dumb. Like, yeah, I don't know about that. Yes, I know about that. Okay. The people might comment, oh, what? You don't know about this? Yes, I don't know. What do you want me to say for that, right? You should never cater to others' needs. You be true. Yes, I know. Yes, I don't know. These are the things. Don't expect, don't do anything for the sake of others or for another friend or a parent or thing. Do what is right for you, and that doesn't impact not that I'm telling you to go and impact someone. Right for you, and make sure that we don't infringe on another person's free will, like go and impact another person's free will. Okay, so keep that in mind, that itself is a big deal to achieve. So yeah, so it's something that you need to, I just thought of sharing this. So see, that's what, set clear boundaries and enforce them. Archangel Chamuel. See, this is important. So we need to set boundaries with all the people, each one, how much we share, what we talk, what we do, how much we allow them into our lives, how much they have a say in our lives, and things like that. This is how we are going to get over this, this narcissistic behavior and things like that. You need to wake up to that, wake them up, wake up and stand up to them, stand, done. It's not anymore going to be accepted, and and those things are not going to be things. Only be joyful and trusting. So I think I'm just kind of see these are the ways I kind of get acknowledgement. So yeah, so I'm that word I don't want to use loosely, but then I feel it's about time that we need to raise up and talk about, not just talk about it, but see whether we can reach out to them, see what is what, and why this kind of a um, why we have come into this place, what has happened in the past. We need to, that's those things are going to come into picture, so we need to understand what is going on behind the scenes, something. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so yeah, seize opportunities courageously. Okay, so I think with that, I'll end today's particular topic. If you have been listening to me, thank you so much. I just posted in between, so so let me see how it goes. And thank you for listening to my viewpoints. Yeah. So if you like it, click on the like button and subscribe to it, and share this video if you can, and it'll be great. So as I said, it doesn't matter if it's one person watches it. I'll be happy. So even if it doesn't want it, it will be watched by the certain people. That's how I just leave it to spirit to see if it reaches the people who it has to reach, so that it's done. So nothing else apart from that. And if you've done that, thank you so much, and hope to see you in the next video. And till then, goodbye. See you.